there shall be a treaty.
We're still waiting.
NAIDOC Week 2019.
To begin with, this is part of an area set aside by the government as an Aboriginal reservation. Yet when some mining leases were granted here in 1963, the Aborigines weren't even consulted. To most people, it's nothing but a rise in the land. To the Aborigines, it's a sacred place, a place called Nhulunbuy. On May the 14th, it was desecrated when a bulldozer sliced through this ridge. The people of Yirrkala had given permission for certain work to be done here, but they'd made a number of conditions. Among them, the ridge must remain intact. Its destruction has been compared to knocking down a cathedral, but in fact it goes much further, much deeper than that. You can't even begin to understand what it meant until you understand that to the Aborigine, human life and spiritual life are indivisibly connected, and that the link between the two is the land. They believe that each person derives part of his spirit from one or more of the sacred sites, the places where the great spirit beings, the ancestors, left behind part of their sacred essence as they travelled across the country. These mythical beings were largely responsible for the land as it looks today, and their deeds are remembered not only in the stories and dances, but also in the bark paintings. The ochre used to make the paint is believed to be the dried-up blood of the ancestors. So, to this day, the Aborigine derives part of his spirit, part of himself, from the sacred places. He believes that the land throughout all time belongs to his people. He believes, too, that they belong to the land. The belief is all-embracing. And so the land retains its meaning, the sacred sites retain their significance. But just how many of the Yirrkala people are vitally concerned about Nabalco's activities is another matter. In the time since the mission was founded, there have been a lot of settlers from other areas. Ted Egan, the district welfare officer, feels that only 2 of the 13 clans are deeply concerned.
Certainly the Gomeroi and Yirrkala people are vitally concerned for their own welfare. They identify themselves with this country. Members of other clans are not nearly as concerned, and some are not concerned at all. Most of the young people see themselves as being involved in the mining venture. You say, where do you think you'll be working in a couple of years' time? And they say, well, with the company, who else? They see themselves and their children living in the new township and taking part in the town's activities, the district's activities, whatever they're called. So they are not a homogeneous group, there's no doubt about this. Now, some of them hate one another's guts, and they would take an opposite point of view in all things that were brought up.
Whereas Ted Egan feels only a few are concerned, Badanga Marika, president of the Yirrkala Village Council, says the concern is common to all.
Yes, they are worried about all the sacred places.
Both the Yirrkala people who've always been here and the people who've come here recently, they're all worried.
Yes, we are.
So you want the aluminium plant here, but what worries you is that your sacred sites are being disturbed. Is that the main thing?
Yes, we don't want the mining company can carry on their work, but the worrying is us, where they've been damaged the sacred area.
In the course of work so far, 2 sacred sites have been disturbed. The one up at Nhulunbuy, and this one here, where on this very spot there grew a sacred banyan tree called Wayal. It was completely destroyed last year.
Well, gentlemen, we'll start today's...
Things have improved now. Regular monthly meetings between the Aborigines, Nabalco, the mission and the district welfare officer began last November, just before the Aborigines took their case to court. The meetings were cancelled for a while because of the legal situation, but are now being held again. This was the 4th. At the top of the agenda on each occasion is Nabalco's program for the coming month. And this, as well as lessening the chance of more damage to sacred sites, could help the Aborigines to adjust their thinking gradually to the magnitude of the scheme and its implications for their people. Other points are raised. At this meeting, drink, transport, ceremonies, and the sale of artefacts. At Gove, all things affect all people. But whether consultation can solve all the problems remains to be seen. Even if Dadanga Marika, the head of the council, and the people of Yirrkala are defeated in the courts, it won't change their point of view.
Land will be still belong to us because we are the ownership for the land, and the land is belong to us if we are lost our case.
What sort of a life do you want for your people here?
Well, I like to see my people to educate it themselves and learn as they can in the European ways, but they will be still on our own culture and our own custom, because we're still on our own custom now.
It isn't a case of turning back the clock, but of ensuring that two groups of people can live and work happily together while retaining their individual values. What has happened on Groot Island is a healthy indication. With patience and understanding, it can happen here at Gove. The signs are good. The larger issue is that of land rights. On trial are not only Aboriginal beliefs that go back to the Dreamtime, but Western attitudes towards land ownership that go back to the beginning of history.
NAIDOC Week 2019. On your official NAIDOC television station, Aboriginal TV Channel 4.